So today I'm not using my ukulele. Today I want to talk about the reason why I wear this support on my wrist. Well, it was about 2016 I went in for a day patient for a surgery. I had a lump on my finger, which I will insert pictures. But now it's, I don't know if it'll focus. See if I can get to focus. Will it focus? No, if it will focus, then I'll take a picture of it now. I had a lump. It was called the ganglion. It's basically a lump that's supposed to form on the back of your wrist, and you can have a small procedure for them to just like put you to sleep, cut open, take out, zip you back up again and send you on your merry way. But no, my body decided to put the ganglion in my finger. Think of all the intricate things you need your finger for. Squeezing that toothpaste tube, brushing your hair, putting a ponytail in the hair. Back then I had long hair. Back then I was girly, crunchies. So all them small things you take for granted, like I couldn't make a sandwich, I couldn't squeeze the primula. Thankfully I'm not a lefty, so that's alright. No jokes. I couldn't wash my hair. I'd be in the shower. I'd be washing, and I have to call my partner at the time. Can you come wash my hair, darling? Because I couldn't wash my own hair. I felt so stupid that I couldn't wash my own hair because I couldn't squeeze the tube. It was really, really annoying. I've had it for as long as I can remember. I think I was about a teenager when I first noticed it. I went to the doctor's, and he was like, "Oh, it's nothing to worry about. But if it gets painful, then you'll have to like remove it." So I left it for years and years, and it was really painful. It was like having a little, what's the best way to describe it? It's like having a little, them squeezy toys that kids play with, and you squeeze them and they pop out at the top end. Like having one of those inside my finger, so I could push it. I could sort of like do that, and then I could sort of push it around. But when it swelled up, I couldn't do more than that. That was as far as it would go. But now, by the operation, I can go all the way down, which is really good. Which meant that I was having ukulele lessons. As you can imagine, that's also an intricate thing you need with your fingers. So that was very hard to play. Because before ukulele, I was having guitar lessons. I used to play acoustic. I wasn't very good. Too many strings. But they got 6 strings compared to what I'm using now. So imagine having to stretch my little fingers over the 6 strings and not being able to like bend your finger. It was so painful. So pestered my doctors for ages, like I need this operation. So they sent me for MRI, and while they were there, they noticed this lump on my wrist, and you can only see it when I make it tight. It's weird, and it clicks. She creeped out by that. Sorry about that, but yeah. I can do that stuff, and I can turn it around, but can't go really fast with it. So they sent me for MRI. They noticed that lump in my wrist, but they couldn't figure out what it was. The MRI did my finger, which felt really odd. Thankfully, I only had to go halfway in the MRI machine because I'm claustrophobic. And while they were there, they noticed a lump that was on my arm. That wasn't painful or anything. That didn't move around. It wasn't like a ganglion or anything, but decided, well, I was going to be under. They might as well take out that one and that lump at the same time. So they did. And as usual, when you're being put to sleep, you can't have any food from midnight. So midnight that night, I scoffed. And for some reason, they sent me all the way to Stafford Hospital. I live in Stoke-on-Trent, so Stafford's not too far away. And I was put in a room with 4 other ladies who had either already gone in or were just resting after their surgery. I was starving. I couldn't have any food or any drink. Kept seeing the drink cartridge and the food trolley coming around offering people that were allowed to eat and drink, have food and drink. And I was like, so we need food, need drink. But I couldn't do anything. Then they came up. One of the nurses came up to me with a black marker, and they got me to draw a line where the surgery was to take place. So I drew an arrow here and drew a circle in the middle, and then same on my finger. Then I started getting really worried. I was like, what if they don't see the marking. What if I sweat so much and the marker like fades off with my sweat and you do the wrong one, and then I wake up with still a lump in my finger and not being able to do usual daily activities, but I had nothing to worry about. They asked me if I wanted to be put to sleep with the mask where they can backwards or the injections. I said mask. That's painful. I got to 8. I actually got to walk down to the theatre. Thank God they don't put you to sleep in the theatre room. They put you to sleep in a little corridor, which is like the door before the theatre, so you haven't got to see all the tours. I lay on the bed. I was proper like cold. I wasn't cold, but I was shaking like I was cold because I was nervous. When I'm nervous, I start shaking. And they gave me a blanket and everything. I was still shaking. I had to wear some really weird socks and some underwear, which were not the least enticing. They put the mask on me and got me to count. Got to 8 and I fell asleep. And then I woke up and I started hallucinating that I was like floating in the air. I started crying as well. I woke up and there was no one there because I was like, I was over the age of 16, so I didn't really need anyone there to like parental responsibility and all that. So when the drugs wore off, they wheeled me back around to the room where all the other ladies were. They'd all gone home at that point, so I was on my own. But then they brought food in, and I ate and ate and ate and ate, and I didn't stop eating. Then my partner showed up, and I think it was a Tuesday afternoon, and on Tuesdays in 2016, I was in a drama group, and I felt alright as soon as the drugs wore off. I had a big bandage on here, but I was fine otherwise. So we drove back to Stoke, made it just in time for the drama lesson, which was good because we were rehearsing a play. One of them's on YouTube, by the way. I'll have to link it. It was a Christmas play and we were rehearsing the words, so I got there just in time to rehearse. I warned them I was going for an operation the same day. They said, "Oh, don't worry if you don't make it in," but I was like, I will want to make it because I love doing drama. I took loads of pain meds after that because it was killing me. And then eventually it was time for the plasters and bandages to come off. And I was left with like wiring, like stitches. I was told would just like drop out by themselves. And they did, but one of them in my finger didn't drop out and it stunk. Oh, it's horrible. I had to go back to the Hayward to get them to finish taking all the stitches out. And it felt weird after that, being able to like use my finger and take things for granted again. It was really nice. I was told the one side effect though would be that if I had the ganglion removed, there was a possibility that it could return by itself. But it's been 17, 18, 19, 20. It's been 4 years since the surgery, and it's not come back yet. So please don't come back. I like my fingers. So yeah, that one's fine. Onto my wrist. I love writing stories, poems, short stories, selling stories, kid stories, poems, anything involving typing, which I did a lot of when I was a teenager. I had not many friends, so I did a lot of writing, wrote a lot of stories. And from that I got repetitive strain injury, so that doesn't help. And then somewhere between me and Toby's dad being together, we were like play fighting, and it caused more problems, and I had to end up in one of those brown, I'll just show you a picture, I can't think of what it's called. And it's fine normally, just like occasionally it flares up and I can't turn my wrist, but this past week it's been causing pain in here, so I'm not sure if that's flaring up. But in the morning I put my jacket on, put my arm in my pocket, it acts like a very good sling, and I'm just like this all morning, just like this, got one hand while I'm trying to make cereal for me and my son, and then do the cat food and everything. Then a few hours later I'm like, yeah, good, I can stretch my arm out, it's really good, but it's like not perfect. I wish it was perfect, but it's not perfect. But I have no idea why it's not perfect. But I'm getting old. I'm very clumsy. I've been in a boot, I've been in a cast, so yeah, I'm just very clumsy. But I wish I could play the ukulele. I wish I could do that G string again. I'll have to have another go. But sorry if I'm looking around, it's the cat. My cat's wandering around. We're in the garden again because this is a nice day. Not quite sunny, but it's a nice-ish day. Right, well, I think that's it. Bye, 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 bye.